Hey YouTube, it's your girl Brandy 1525 and I am back at you again. I wanted to share something that I went through recently with you all, and that was I had a breast cancer scare. Um, let's see, back in about the end of November, I had just got out of the shower and I was getting my smell goods together and laying back on the bed, relaxing and whatnot. And I always do a self breast exam at least once a month after I shower. Even though I'm not at that age, I've been doing it for a long time because my grandmother had breast cancer and unfortunately she passed away from that. But she was a survivor though because she fought it for a long time. So anyway, I was doing my self breast exam and I had a sore spot in my breast, and I was like, wow, what the hell, you know what I'm saying? Well, I, kept feeling and doing my exam with the pads in my fingers and whatnot, and I felt a small bump in my breast. So I was like, wow. So I sat up to see if I could feel it again while I was sitting up, with one arm raised, how you put your arm behind your head and, see if you can feel. So I felt the lump again still, and when I touched it, it was sore to the touch. So I told my husband, I said, honey, come here. I want you to feel my breast and see if you can feel this bump in my breast. Well, of course, to a man, it all feel lumpy, milk ducts and all. It all feel like lumpy. So, but when he got to that spot without me telling him, he was able to feel it. So I was like, oh, wow, this is nuts. So I immediately got scared, but I knew that I had to do the right thing and go ahead and call the doctor's office. So I made an appointment to have a mammogram, and I went and had it. And it was my first mammogram. I told y'all I am 39 years old, so I wasn't even planning on having a mammogram or anything until next year. This year, excuse me, my birthday is in April, so until after I turn 40 in April. So I went to the doctor and they scheduled me for a mammogram, and of course the spot came up on the mammogram. So now I'm like, oh wow, this is like surreal. It's like unbelievable. I'm like, whoa. So they asked me to come back and they wanted me to have an ultrasound. So I came back, I had the ultrasound, the spot came up again, it showed on the ultrasound, but they told me it was too small and they couldn't really tell me whether it was a cyst or a tumor or what it was. They couldn't get an indication by ultrasound or mammogram on what it was. So they wanted me to have a biopsy. Well, I was like, hold on. When you're talking about sticking a sword through my breast, I'm scared of that. So I was like, So I was like, no biopsy for me. I will go and get a second opinion. So I went to another hospital. I went to my mother's doctor, and they have a women's health center, and they specialize in mammograms and mammography and ultrasounds and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go over here since they couldn't tell me what it was and it was so small. I'm gonna see what these people say. Went over there, and guess what? It's still there. So yeah, it was still there. I had a mammo, and then I had an ultrasound, and they told me the same exact thing. The spot is so small, we want you to have a biopsy. So I'm like, oh my God. Now, mind you, this whole time, I've been crying up a storm. I'm like, Lord, please, I got 3 kids, Jesus, please, I can't have cancer. Don't take me away from my children. I was scared, y'all. I was scared to death. So, anyhow, the day of my biopsy, I asked all my friends on Facebook, y'all be with me, pray for me, everybody. My family, I had them praying, So the day of my biopsy, I went in. I was scared, but I knew I had to do it. I had to just warm it up and just go ahead on and do it. Sword through the titty or not, let's get it. So I went in, and They tried to make me comfortable. I had a wonderful nurse, wonderful doctor, radiologist, whatever, wonderful helper, stenographer. She was wonderful. So you go in and you lay on the table and you only undress from the waist down, and then they basically drape your breast so that the area that they're going to work in is exposed. So the doctor came in and he said, okay, well, we're going to numb you up. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to look because I'm not comfortable with it. You know, I'm really scared. So I turned my head and I was like, okay, just let me know when you're going to numb it. And he was like, it's already done. And I'm like, it's already done. You already numbed it? He was like, yeah, can you feel that? And I'm like, I don't feel anything. So he was like, okay, what we're going to do is, and the whole time he's talking to me, we're doing it, and I'm looking at the ultrasound, which is to my right. It was my left breast, by the way. And I said, because I can see the needle on the screen. I'm like, you already doing it? He's like, yeah, I'm already doing it. We're in there now. So he went in and he deflated my area, which would be a cyst, but every time that he would draw the fluid out, it would just instantly fill back up, and I could see it like a balloon. So he said, okay, well, I don't understand. I believe it's a cyst, but every time I draw the fluid out, it's filling back up immediately. So he went and he said, well, I think that we're going to have to go ahead and do the biopsy, which means I'm going to take some samples. So now I'm scared again. Even though I don't feel nothing, I'm scared again just because he done said biopsies, core biopsy, ultrasound, guided, sample, tissue, take it out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm scared. So he says, let's give her some more medicine to numb it up. And I'm like, okay, let me know when you're going to do it. He's like, again, Brandy, we've already done it. So I'm like, wow, you know, this is amazing. So they went in and he said, now you're going to hear a couple clicks, and that's me taking the samples, taking the tissue samples or whatever. So one click, I didn't feel it. I heard it, but I didn't feel anything. 2 clicks, I heard it again, didn't feel a thing. He said, wow, I think we obliterated it. So I'm like, okay. He's like, well, we're done. I'm like, let me know when you take the needle out. You know, I'm trying to brace myself for every move. And he's like, I'm already done, Brandy, turn your head. So I turn my head, and the man is like standing 2 feet away from where I'm laying. So I was very, very happy that I didn't feel anything. So he told me, he was like, I feel very positive that it's just a cyst. He said, it doesn't seem like anything. He was like, although your fluids were a little blood stained that we removed, I feel really positive about it. So I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you feel positive, partner, but until I get some test results, I'm not trying to hear that. So he's like, now this is like coming up on New Year's. This was after Christmas because I had the biopsy done on the 28th of December. So he's like, go home, don't worry about it. Don't even let it be on your mind, blah, 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 blah. Come on now. Yeah, right. So they were supposed to call me on that Monday. And let's see, was it Monday or Tuesday? No, they were supposed to call me Tuesday, which was the 1st. The nurse had told me, she was like, well, if it's nothing, we're going to call you and let you know that you don't even have to come to the appointment, and we'll see you in 6 months. So I'm like, okay. So Tuesday, I got the phone in my hand all day, heart beating, nervous. Excuse me. Well, I didn't get a call on Tuesday, so I just knew for sure. I'm like, okay, they didn't call me. Now I'm trying to wrap my mind around, okay, you got cancer. We finna get in here and fight the good fight. I'm finna beat this because I'm not going down without a fight, you know. And I'm like, okay, so Wednesday is the 2nd, and that's the day that I was scheduled to go in and get my results. So I go in on Wednesday, I go in on Wednesday. They call me back. As soon as I sit down, actually, they call me back. And the lady was talking to me, how's it doing, how's it feeling? She checked my breast to make sure there was no, I forget what she said, basically a lump, a boil of blood or something like that inside my breast to make sure that it was healing okay. And there was nothing. So I'm thinking like, dang, you know, is she going to tell me the results or what? So she says, well, let's not procrastinate any longer. Let's go ahead and get to those results. Everything is fine. Man, y'all just don't know how happy I was, how ecstatic I was. I mean, tears just streamed down my cheeks because I'm thinking, Lord, thank you. You know, even though I don't deserve it, thank you for sparing me. Thank you, Lord. You know, so I wanted to share my story just for anybody that this might help. Anybody that's going through the same thing, you know, if you have a lump in your breast, if you have a spot in your breast, don't always be alarmed. Every lump is not cancer, you know, and prayer changes things. If it was cancer, I prayed about it and God worked it out, and it's not cancer today. You know, just, you know, do what you got to do. Even though you might be scared, even though you may be, you know, terrified and, you know, hurt and why me, Lord, and whatever, you know, you got to woman up and you got to do what you got to do. So I hope that this helps somebody. Having a ultrasound guided core breast biopsy does not hurt. You will not feel a thing. Do not read all the horror stories online like I did and be scared to death before you go, because it's all a big fat lie. I just had it done less than, what, it's been a few days, a week now. It's been a week now since I had it, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, it does not hurt. It is wonderful. Just wanted to share my story with you all, let you all know. Even if you're not 40, please do your breast checks, do your self-breast exams, do it in the shower, do it in the bed, you know what I'm saying, and do it often, because cancer does not have an age range. That's like a lie. Cancer don't have an age range. If it run in your family, go get a mammogram, even if you're not 40, even if you're not near that age. You know what I'm saying? Ask your doctor at your OBGYN appointments. Ask your doctor. If they don't do it, can you do a breast exam, please? It's so important, ladies. It's so important. We got to save the tatas, as my Denny would say. Save the tatas. We got to save our breasts and save our life. So that's about it. I do appreciate you listening to my story, taking the time to watch my video. If you have any questions at all, don't forget to leave them in the description box, comment, rate, and subscribe. Thank you.